Hello, I'm Smita and you're watching Medicircle. Today on our healthcare startup series, we have Rishubh Gupta with us. So as we always introduce to lot many startups and their entrepreneurs to know more about their journey and also what product, what offering they are offering to us so that our lives are easier, safer and most importantly healthier. Rishab is the co-founder of OatMlk. OatMlk is a plant-based milk startup serving 25 cities in India with the goal of providing a way for everyone, whether lactose intolerant or adventurous beyond the norm. Because it's said that we always connect to milk with good health, and earlier, sometime back, we were like forced to have it. We didn't have any substitutes, but thanks to so many startups out there and the information what the websites and media platforms like Medicircle is providing, definitely kids and adults have got some other options. So to experience the pleasure of health, there are so many things that you can actually try apart from milk, and their vision is to definitely create a community of plant lovers, earth lovers and health enthusiasts. That's quite interesting. So hi Rishabh, welcome to Medicircle.
Thank you so much, Smita. I really appreciate the introduction.
Thanks for joining and thanks for letting us know that there is a substitute for milk because so many kids who are still don't like. But yes, the parents also need to find it out that why the kid or the child is not preferring the age or traditions of having milk to be successful
Yeah.
healthy. So, as the co-founder of OatMlk, tell us more about your startup and what exact problem it's trying to solve.
Sure. Firstly, thank you so much for having us. Secondly, I'll just start with like a bit of a story as to why and how we came about it. So, as you mentioned, that a lot of kids don't really know about lactose intolerance or why, mothers generally wonder why their kid is not really appreciating or even enjoying the milk that's been given to them. So, I was one of those unfortunate kids who learned after 18 years that the gut doesn't really feel right after drinking your normal milk. So that's something I discovered when I was in the UK, and over there, like I fell in love with oat milk, which was milk made from oats, and and with Akash, like whenever we would meet up, so Akash is the other co-founder of oat milk, by the way. So whenever we would meet up, we would actually chat over a cup of coffee, which generally had oat milk in it. So I think one thing transcended to another, and long story short, we decided to do something about it ourselves. So that's when we came back to India and started our oat milk startup. I think it's been around 2 years since we started doing research. Completely alien to the food and beverages industry, I would say. But I think we were able to develop a product that was that kind of like fit well with us and was good in terms of the reference point we had in the UK. And in terms of, I think now we've been working since like we launched around November 2021. And what we're trying to solve is that we want to give people, as you mentioned, that there's a lot of like false understanding of milk being a very healthy option that people should be drinking as a form of nutrition on a daily basis. What we're trying to solve is to actually create an alternative to milk which is healthy, tasty and digestible and gives you the nutrition that you require.
Very, very true. But as you'll agree, Rishabh, that there are other startups also who are trying to disrupt
Yeah.
this milk alternative market with
Hmm.
their
Yeah.
variety of offerings. If you talk about
Hmm.
autonomy or good milk, same as
Hmm.
milk in oats is there. So,
Yeah.
what are the prime USPs of oat milk that you are offering?
I think firstly, like I think it's an awesome thing that there's so many people actually trying to do this. And I do believe like right now, given that the plant-based movement is kind of at the nascency stage in our country, I think all of us are trying to build together a plant-based movement in India. However, having said that, like the oat milk like firstly, like I feel soy, almond, or coconut or other milks, like personally, I do not believe in those products as much as I do in oat milk, simply because of the fact that like some of them are not really as healthy as people claim it to be, or some are not as versatile, or something that is not something that can actually replace your dairy milk. So when it comes to being able to bake it or froth it or freeze it or make ice creams with it, or just actually have an alternative of the future, that is where oat milk comes in. And to be more specific about our company, OatMlk, I think the way we kind of differentiate ourselves compared to others is we are firstly like a very B2B focused brand. So we want to actually help educate the consumers through whatever places they go to, whether that's a hotel, a restaurant, a cafe, an institution, an office. So starting with that. And secondly, we focus a lot more on sustainability side of things. So we do like differentiate ourselves with a glass bottle, and we say, for example, offset any plastic use that we do with it, which is like a gram of label that we use on our bottles. So I think these are the key things that kind of help us differentiate our product compared to others in the market.
So yeah, I mean, offering such a trusted product is definitely itself it's a big differentiator. Yes, adding value to it would be definitely would be the icing on the cake. But would like to share here some facts, Rishabh. Like according to a report by the Economic Times, India's market for plant alternatives for milk and meat is actually very pretty small. So with
Yeah.
estimates that the milk alternatives industry is worth somewhere between rupees 200 to 300 crores, dairy brands which dominate this 1.5 lakh crores worth market say that they are concerned because they believe plant milk is inferior to dairy. So, saying that again, there is another factors also that it is considered to be expensive. So those factors are there. Still, experiencing something, making the people experience about it, because again, you need to raise awareness of something which is new. People are still accepting to the fact that it could be also nutrient rich and other things. So, how many lives you have touched so far, and how is the customer experience? And when
So
exactly
I think,
started, I think
yeah.
we missed this. So when you have started oat mills, and how has the experience through all these years?
Sure. I think I'll try to answer one at a time. So I think in terms of starting our brand, we started in around November 2021, and we started with actually we started a bit back with like our alpha and beta testing, but coming to the market, we initially started with around 700 to 1,000 people in our first month, but currently we've touched over a lakh lives, and hopefully like we will try to grow that number by 10 times by the end of this year, and that is the plan. But coming back to your other question, which is oat milk being inferior to your dairy products in terms of price or nutritional value, I think nutritionally we are if at par, if not better than the dairy milk. And in terms of its versatility, I think we are quite there. Maybe you cannot make paneer out of it, but I think that's where you draw the line. Apart from that, if you want to use it for any other purposes, you can do that with oat milk. And in terms of price, I would say, see, that is just a function of scale. Like today, if you talk about a city like Kanpur, you would be selling around 10 lakh liters of your dairy milk in a day. So to replicate even of 1% of that takes a lot of like people, a lot of companies, as I mentioned earlier as well, the community aspect. I think all of us together can actually bring about the change, driving these prices down and the volumes up. So I think it's just a function of economies of scale. So today, ideally, we would love to be able to give these at milk prices, if not like better. But for that, like, we need more people to become aware. And I think like everyone is trying to put their like, 2 cents and put a step forward in that direction.
Yes, definitely. It's true that vegan milk might be expensive, but it is competitive as well, and it has got all the nutrients. Those who are
Hmm.
lactose intolerant, it's a
Yeah.
very good alternative for that.
Hmm.
We cannot. We need to have that fact into consideration because it is
Hmm.
offering something to those who are not
Yeah.
able to consume the regular milk.
Hmm. Right.
Moving on to my next question, Rishabh. So, is your startup funded or you are bootstrapped?
So we were bootstrapped till this month. Actually, tail end of last month, we've just closed our first round of funding, first seed round of 1 CR.
Congratulations for that, Rishabh, and hope you
Thank
get
you so much.
rounds of funding. Because,
Thank you.
a dream of any entrepreneur needs a validation of this investors' money, because from this
Definitely.
you can actually get the power to scale it
Hmm.
up to the level
Hmm.
where it can be actually reached, because sometimes due to
Hmm.
fund crunches there are a lot of things
Hmm.
like automation
Of course.
and manpower, especially the team
Hmm.
marketing, where you
Hmm.
actually need people to know more about your products and brands, because it's
Hmm.
already been talked about. There are vegan alternatives, but yes, we definitely
Hmm.
need to educate people on more on this, so that they know that there are
Definitely.
alternatives to
Hmm.
help to become healthy. So
Definitely.
Rishabh, one thing here that as you started very early, and it's still, I would like to ask that what were your revenues in FY 2022 and what you're planning to close at FY 2023?
So FY 2022, I think, has just like we are barely 8 months old. So we did not close anything for last year. It would have been barely like a few lakhs. But I think I would rather like talk in terms of volumes instead of money, because I think that is where I judge our performance better at. But I think like we're currently doing around 15 to 20 productions a month, and we want to eventually like scale it to having like multiple like facilities doing it every single day of the month by the end of this year.
Great. And one important question out there, that is it difficult to scale it up, especially considered, I mean, cities from Kanpur and other places, because they are concerned, because we always think that Bangalore is the startup hub and metro cities give
Hmm.
you better options.
Yeah,
So did you find any
yeah.
such challenges? If so, please share with us.
I think, I think in any entrepreneurial journey, and I think I'm still at like a very early stage of the journey, but I think there's always like lots of challenges and issues you face, no matter where you are, whether that's a Bangalore or Delhi or even a Kanpur. But I think like what has actually instead been helpful, and I think I also owe a bit of credit to COVID for that, is because a lot of people have been quite open to working remotely now because of the pandemic, and that has allowed us to kind of seep through a lot of channels which would have been otherwise kind of impossible without a physical meeting. So I think being able to sit in Kanpur actually has been a major enabler and has allowed us to kind of push our limits to be able to grow sitting from here. Apart from that, obviously there are a lot of issues as well that comes with it. Like there are a lot of things that you need to actually fly out for, but I think like working this way also helps you prioritize which ones to fly out for as well. So I think it's a mixed bag over there, but I think the opportunities are limitless, and they're only limited by your imagination. So
Surely. But if we specifically I mean, talk about oat milk, I would like to add here that oat milk
mhm,
production requires the lowest amount of water and has the
yeah,
least environmental impact when compared
right.
to other plant-based milk variants, which is a very important point. Also, a
Mhm,
life cycle assessment study by the Sweden-based brand Oatly, it shows that the oat milk production leads to 80% of lower greenhouse gas emissions and
mhm,
requires 60% of less energy and 80%
yeah,
less land as compared to the dairy land. Now, that
mhm,
also adds to the facts that we can definitely have more and more oat milk based startups, because it is just not good and I mean, a substitute to those who are lactose intolerant, but also it is a sustainable thing if you compare to
mhm,
the dairy milk
yeah,
production on a large level.
mhm, mhm.
Saying that, Rishabh would like to know in your journey, because it's a new journey and you are still figuring it out. So, but what any such learning or anything which you would like to share with the fellow entrepreneurs here at Medicircle?
Sure. I think I feel like patience and persistence is key. Working in India is no easy task, and I like actually like really appreciate and feel inspired by every single person whom like has come across this journey of mine, and also other entrepreneurs who are actually trying to work. So I think failure is a part of any like business. If you're not having any failures, this is something that actually a fellow like startup entrepreneur had shared with me, and I think that's quite stuck well with me, which is that if you're not failing at certain points in time, then you're doing something wrong. So I think that's something that you should always like take it with a stride, that it's okay to fail, and that's where you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back at it. So I think that's quite important, and as long as you do that, no one's going to stop you. Like,
That's really good. I mean, Rishabh, that you shared some learnings. Definitely, you need perseverance. You need continuous belief in your own dreams so that you can achieve them. And there would
Yeah.
be really, really lot many problems. But believing in your dreams and achieving them would be definitely someday it would happen. And as the
Definitely.
customer, also the
Hmm.
people to whom you are serving,
Hmm.
their reviews towards the product, their
Hmm.
satisfaction by using their your products would be definitely adding up to this
Hmm.
thing. But yes, cost and other factors would be
Hmm.
definitely there, because I think there are a lot
Hmm.
many startups who are working on this. And certainly if we
Hmm.
just talk about this I mean, greenhouse gas emissions and the way this is compared with the dairy health market,
Hmm.
so it is
Hmm.
being a good opportunity to startups like
Hmm.
oat milk, and
Hmm.
definitely it is doing great. So finally,
Hmm.
we have some good substitute, because when we talk about plant-based vegan substitutes, we have so many, like
Hmm.
coconut milk is there, then soy
Hmm.
milk is there, rice and almond and
Yeah.
others. They come in different packaging like
Hmm.
bottles and cartons and
Hmm.
pouches. So you have a good market opening up, not just to
Hmm.
retail and online, but they are now you're
Hmm.
getting them online also. There is a
Yeah.
good market for D2C of such brands.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I hope there's a plethora of opportunities for startups like
Thank you
OatMlk.
so much.
All the best to Rishabh and their startup OatMlk to do great
Hmm.
and bring about a new customer experience, especially for
Hmm.
those who are lactose intolerant. Thank you so much, Rishabh, for joining us today for Healthcare Startup Series at Medicircle. We wish you and OatMlk all the best for its future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Mita. It was lovely chatting with you and actually being online. Thank you for having us.